Hi, this is Andy from MPRV News. Welcome to the origins of MPRV News, Part 12. 2016. On the surface, things was going really well with the video channel that me and Shell were working with. We was really working hard for them and had done some real solid work for them at the Rebellion Festival. Sadly though, under the surface, things were not so good. Thanks to Shell's knowledge on digital marketing, she had found out that we had both been greatly deceived on many issues. It was hard to take, more so for me, as it turned out I was better off still doing Miglin's punk rock video. Shell wanted out straight away, but I wanted to give them another chance, which looking back, I should have listened to Shell. My mistake. 2017. After a meeting over Christmas with the video channel both me and Shelley were working with, and the meeting that I personally attended, where I explained me and Shelley could not carry on under all these certain issues. Both me and Shelley, without them knowing, decided that we would quit at the end of Rebellion 2017. Deep down we knew we'd been done like a kipper and we wanted out. We had already booked an hotel for Rebellion in Blackpool, so it made sense to quit at the end of Rebellion, and a bit of me didn't want to leave them in the lurch without a video team if we quit at short notice before it. So August was going to be our cut-off date. Although we kept our plans to ourselves, as things turned out, we was gone inside 2 weeks after that meeting. I had put a joke post up on Facebook, one about Shell and one of her interviews, and it really got this video channel freaking out. We was actually at the time in Leeds at the Temple of Boom covering a cancelled 7 Seconds 2 show. 7 Seconds had to cancel the tour because a couple of their members had health issues and they had been replaced by the Mighty Discharge. I actually spent most of the night though sending texts to and fro with this video channel. It was totally freaking out. Things escalated more and more and we was just trying to be diplomatic about everything, but things just got worse and worse. In the end, me and Shell had just about had enough. So after a quick chat, we decided to offer to quit there and then rather than wait to August. So we texted them with the offer and just said, do you want us to quit? They accepted. They very quickly posted on Facebook that both me and Shell were leaving them, and we thought that was that. Sadly, while keeping things nice and friendly to prying eyes, under the surface a war had begun aimed at me and Shell. A few weeks later, while waiting for a delayed train to cover an event in Manchester, I killed some time by contacting Daz about Rebellion Festival, and if it was still okay to cover it as Miglin's punk rock video. Daz was okay for us to come to the event, but he was not okay for us to video and interview bands at the event. It was such an awkward situation, as in the background I had been advising Daz on the event as far as booking US bands go, like I did back in the days of the Mermaid. In fact, I had played a role in getting Fang onto the event. I decided to tell him we would back out. It was such a sticky situation for both of us. More so especially me. As I said in previous episodes, I actually didn't like the Rebellion Festival. But I was also fully aware that I had an hotel that I had booked that I was going to lose deposit money on. And I was also aware of the damage to the scene long term it could cause with our lack of coverage, along with the fact that in the long term it was probably going to affect us financially without him realising it. On the train journey to Manchester, I have to admit I was pretty cheesed off with everything, and I really considered whether it was just worth all the hassle and whether I should just walk away from punk for good. Besides the threats that were coming our way, and the stuff being done under the surface to totally undermine what we might be doing in the future as Midlands punk rock video. The Pied Piper's tune was getting louder and louder, and more the flock was starting to follow. And the ones that wouldn't follow the flock were soon brought in various ways where they would come on board and then follow the flock to the tune. I sent a message to Shell telling her that before we did anything once I arrived, I wanted to have a meeting. I had decided I was going to quit and just walk away from it. It just wasn't worth it. But just as I was thinking that, Shirley sent me a text. That one text was going to change my whole thinking and the way forward for Midlands punk rock video. Once I saw it, I was never going to quit yet. Ironically, up in Leeds, where all this had all started, at the venue, the Temple of Boom, they had decided to put on a festival running the same time as Rebellion. They called it the Bloodstains Festival, and it was basically having all the old school American hardcore bands and some from Europe that were playing Rebellion. As you've seen in previous episodes, it's almost a hobby for me, old school American hardcore. So it was like all my Christmases had all come at once. And to see these such iconic bands playing in a small venue, on a small stage, with no barrier, all bouncers, and more or less a free-for-all to have fun. Wow. It's funny looking back. If only I'd known about this event a few hours earlier, I would never have had that chat with Daz anyway. I'd have been bailing out of Rebellion like a shot. There was no way I was going to miss this amazing lineup in such a venue as the Temple of Boom. It's strange really looking back. I got on the train on somewhat like a downer, and I got off the train as if I'd won the lottery. Needless to say, I was so excited that once I got to Shells, I had the tickets, hotel, travel, everything all got booked up. We was ready to go for when that arrived. We approached the Bloodstains Festival with all guns blazing and really put the hard yards into the event. We was also being fueled by the people running the event. And you know, they even got us an interview room to interview the bands in, which was so nice of them. And I'd just like to say while I'm here, thank you guys for doing that back then. That really did give us a platform to work off. During the year also, we decided to have a box for the microphone, just to look that little bit more polished. We couldn't fit on the box Midlands punk rock video, so after juggling around loads of different things we could use as a title for our new video venture, we decided to go with MPRV News. It just fitted nice and neat on the box. It was sad in many ways for me, especially because of Bowder's design to take the Midlands punk rock video bounds off that design, but it just wouldn't fit on the box, and it just made more sense just to put MPRV News on the logo. At a later date, after the Bloodstains Festival in Leeds, the footage we shot the Boll Weevils ended up on PBS NewsHour in Chicago when they did a feature on the Boll Weevils. MPRV News was already starting to make an impression.
I think that I just was rebelling against the idea of people trying to put labels on me.